Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And yeah, you guessed it. You guessed it all right. We have yet another amazing guest. This is going to be a powerful conversation. I can already tell because we're going to be talking about limiting beliefs, generational limiting beliefs. We're going to be talking about, um, you know, somebody who's tried various things before, who's moved around, who's another nurse from our community this morning. We love our nurses. We thank our nurses. They're overworked and underpaid, just like so many different wonderful people in our communities. And this is going to be one just like every Wake Up Legendary. You're going to be able to get some platinum nuggets out of. Remember that each and every morning we have a student client of our education who is not a professional, is not dang sure ain't a professional live streamer or YouTuber or influencer. These are regular, ordinary people doing extraordinary things because they are walking through their limiting beliefs. They are walking through their fears. They are trying new things. They are looking to build better lives for their families using the skills that we're teaching here at Legendary Marketer. And each one of them, in many cases, this is their first time being interviewed on a live show like this. And so remember that. We've got 815-ish of these episodes with a different person each and every time. And this, I hope, serves as a piece of inspiration for you, as well as you to be able to take away knowledge from these live shows. And we strive to make these live shows more valuable than what most people are charging for out there. And we don't do that because of me. We do that because of our amazing students right here inside of our community. With that being said, Charmaine is another one of those amazing students. So please help me welcome you to the show. Charmaine, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic.
Here.
Yes. Are you excited? Are you surprised that you're on? Or do you tune into the show regularly?
I tune in regularly. I've watched a lot of affiliate marketers who are now top affiliate marketers from their beginning.
Mm.
I've saw them. I'm so inspired that the main thing that made me really take the plunge and go in all in is when I watch them their journey from the beginning and through watching these live interviews because I'm like, what? There are ordinary people doing this and they are crushing it and they're not from marketing and they don't have any experience or training before they do it and they are succeeding. Why can't I?
Mm.
So I
Mm.
really appreciate you doing these interviews because this is one of the major thing that made me take the plunge watching
Wow.
ordinary people.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. That's really validating for me and makes me feel more motivated to do this work every day. So I'm glad to have you here, and it's more exciting for me to know that you were watching the show and that you were listening to other people, and now for you to know that you're here and you're deserving and worthy of being here, just as everybody else before you has been. And so tell us what brought you here. What led you to Legendary? Were you looking for something? Do you feel like you found what you were looking for? Tell us a little bit of your story.
So what happened is I'm a nurse. Went to Abu Dhabi as an RN. When I got married, I followed my husband here in Canada. So when I got here, I thought it's gonna be greater because I'm in a greater country. Like I'm born and raised in the Philippines, and the life there is really
Mm.
hard. But then when I got here, I was like, okay, this is gonna be great because I'm in a greater country. So I don't have my license here. And then 3 months after I got here, pandemic happened. Everything shut down. I cannot process my license, and like I'm stuck. And I'm working on a job that I was just planning to work for a very short time because I honestly think that I am. something more greater doing that job, and I'm consuming my life serving for other people, and like this is not the life I wanted to live. And then when the pandemic happened, I got pregnant, which is also a miracle for me because I have been infertile for years. I'm not ovulating for years. And then just God is so good, gave me a miracle of life. I had her 2021. And then we're so blessed to have 1 year of maternity leave here in Canada. So during that time, I'm so desperate to find an online job, remote job that can replace my old job because
Mm,
I cannot see myself leaving my baby to someone else's hands because it's
mm,
pandemic, right? And
mm,
I've got 3 COVIDs throughout my pregnancy, her first birthday, and even before I gave birth, I have COVID.
mm,
So like, no, this is worse. I'm just here inside our house and I'm getting COVID twice. So I can't imagine leaving my baby to somebody's hands. So I
mm,
said I have to find something that I can do at home, that I can be present to my little one. So I was just scrolling Facebook, I was scrolling Google, and I saw this lady who was actually been doing affiliate marketing. When at that time she's telling me about this opportunity online that makes her great money from home, and I'm intrigued. I remembered her first reel that I watched was about the Google certification. So I searched that and I said, oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. Of thinking negative thoughts about myself. I said, no, I'm just a nurse. I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know about this thing. So I tried to click her link and I said, oh, and then I saw you and like, what? He's doing affiliate marketing, a different thing from from construction to affiliate marketing. I'm like, no, there's no way I cannot do this.
mm,
Somebody if somebody from construction can do this, why can't I? So I tried it, and then that's it.
mm,
And then I didn't tell my husband about the $7 course. I was just going through it. It was like, what are you doing? And like, just doing something online. But I was still breastfeeding and breast pumping back then. So when I see this used to be my breastfeeding station, and my pump used to be here. So when late at night, because I used to pump 3 times, 3 hours every 3 hours. So every time I sit here, I'm stuck with the pump. I scroll down and listen to the course,
mm,
and then I listen and watch the legendary show, and then that's when I said that no, this thing is calling me. This is it, this is it. And
mm,
then I prayed for it, and then I told my husband, and he said, well, if God is calling you to do it, let's do it. And so we
mm,
prayed for it, and then I started doing it, and I saw a little small commissions, and then I said, I think I need to go on advanced training because I think God is calling me to do this. So we prayed for it. Actually prayed for it. And then a very strange thing happened because I don't have money. I don't have money. Like I don't have money because I'm just here at home for a year. And so I'm about to go back to my old job, and I prayed, and then God answered and provided me $7,000 to invest on myself. I paid out my credits, and I covered and put some money for my baby, and then
mm.
invested on myself, and then here I am. Oh, I've been talking so much. Sorry.
I'm listening and loving it. Keep talking. We're listening and learning. We're
I
learning.
was actually holding my darling's bunny. I didn't realize until now.
So, wow, 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 wow. What a beautiful story. Um, wow. See, some of us in America don't realize how difficult life is in countries like the Philippines and in other countries around the world. So it's nice for us to hear this. You know, um, a lot of times we complain and we don't realize how difficult people have it in other countries and the odds that are I mean, coming from the Philippines, you said then you were in Dubai working,
Abu
so you
Dhabi, yes.
Abu Dhabi working, and then you met your husband, so then you moved to Canada, so now you're in the third country that you've lived in, or at least I heard three
Yeah,
so far.
yes.
And then the pandemic hits, and it's like you can't work. Your license didn't transfer over to Canada. The pandemic hit. A miracle also hit because you got pregnant, and
Oh,
I
miracle.
hear miracle, right? But also, you realize the same thing that I think so many people realized during the pandemic, and of course, you had a baby there, is that I don't want to go back to work.
I don't
I
want
don't want to go back to work. And I think a lot of people realize that whether they had babies or not was, hey, I don't really want to go back into an office. And so I think a lot of people can really relate to that. And I just love also how you were, or at least you've become so aware of your limiting beliefs, and you've even talked about the tools that you've used to sort of help you get worked through some of those beliefs. I mean, one of the tools that I heard was prayer, right?
that's
Prayer. And
important.
the reason why I respect prayer so much is because it's the beginning of an action, right? It is asking God for something, and then I do believe that you need to follow up with action. You need to also you need to meet God halfway. It's sort of like, you can't just say, God, please put a Lamborghini in my driveway, please put a Lamborghini in my driveway, please put a Lamborghini in my driveway. It doesn't work like that. But hey, please give me clarity. Please give me um, please give me courage. Please help me to be resourceful. Right?
That
You begin to start to pray for the things and speak out loud. It's a great exercise for those of you who do pray or say, hey, I need to pray more. It's a great affirmation exercise because you are beginning to speak into existence the things that you want, and at the same time you're strengthening your spirituality. And that's a beautiful thing. You can't just, at least you can, but it doesn't really work to say, hey, God, please. Somebody in the comments said, please pay off my student loans. You can't really, it doesn't really work to say, hey, God, please pay off my credit cards. But it does work, in my opinion, to say, hey, please give me the resourcefulness and the awareness to see opportunity when it comes my way, and the courage to act on it and not be afraid. So it sounds like you were doing that, and that's a massive nugget. That's a huge takeaway. But I know that you still, and you said this in your questionnaire, had deep rooted limiting beliefs. You even used the word, I think, generational limiting beliefs. Can you talk to us about what were some of those limiting beliefs and how did you realize they were so deeply rooted within you?
it is because I'm gonna give you some history here. In the Philippines has been under colony of Spain for 400 years. So you can imagine how many generation that is. And that colonization gave us this slave mentality wherein we're only do what we're told. That's for 400 years. And then after 400 years, we are sold to US. And we were a US territory for 40 years. And so we've had this Western idols that we think like life is better in America. Americans are greater than us. That you should be white to achieve great things, and you can't do great things unless you are white, unless you are in a first world country, because we have this deep rooted slave mentality. Because I know it's been like 100 of years ago, but the generations is not changed, because it's continuous, it's unconsciously passed on. Like when I was under the training, and you said that there are set the first 7 years of a child's life is what makes you as an adult. And I remembered, oh yeah, that's true. I've been thinking that when I was young and I was asking for some nice things, my mom and my papa would always say, we don't have money for that, we can't buy that, we cannot afford that, we're not rich, we're not this, we're not that, we cannot afford that. And I said, oh, I don't want to say that same things to my daughter, because I don't want her to grow like how I grow up.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to raise her having this poor mentality. I don't want it. So I'm breaking this generational limiting beliefs that just because I'm a Filipino, just because I'm brown, I'm not white, I cannot achieve great things
Mm.
because I am not white. Because in the Philippines, that's why we love buying whitening products, because we wanted to be white. You can see that in the market. I've That's what one of my business ventures. We were selling whitening soap, whitening products, whitening pills, whitening lotions. I've done
Wow.
that with my sister, and we've done great in the first few months. But then that's how you can say that we have to Filipinos love to look like white, look like Americans, because we have this unconscious thinking that if only we are white, if only we look like the Western countries, we will do greater things. We will look better. We will achieve better
Yeah.
without But in the first place, when I got here in Canada, I saw these white people struggling too, and like, what's the point? What's the point? I was growing up, idolizing these white people. That if only I'm white, if only I'm in the greater country, I'll do better. Now I'm here and I'm struggling. I was struggling. So what's the point?
Wow.
Like, no, I'm gonna
Mm.
break this. This is not the right mindset. I can do this. Said in the Bible said, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And that is what I'm claiming today and
Mm.
forward to my life.
Mm. Wow, that was one of the most honest and vulnerable and powerful things that's ever been shared on the show. I just want to tell you that, Charmaine. And that was a lesson in culture, and a lesson in history, and a lesson in, God. I mean, that was just a lesson in humility, for me, to and I started out the show a few minutes ago talking about how oftentimes we here in America, don't realize the challenges that people go through, especially if we're white in America, for sure, right? I mean, and it's not about the fact that you can't succeed with something no matter what your skin color is. That is true. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about how other people see you. We're talking about how you see yourself, right? And and that's what matters, right? Because at the end of the day, out there on the internet, especially when we get out there on the internet, people are going to pick us apart no matter who we are, right? Um, and and yet still we sit there with our own limiting beliefs, our own generational trauma, and the things that were passed on from our from our relatives and our family. I talked about this in an interview with my father when I interviewed him on Father's Day a couple of years ago. And it was really the first time that I'd ever talked about this publicly. And it was one of the only times I'd actually really talked about it with my dad.
Mm.
But my father was witness to his own father's murder when he was a 10-year-old boy. And his father was shot in front of him because he was violent and drunk. And actually, my father's uncle shot him because he thought he needed to protect his. It was his sister's, or excuse me, my father's mother's brother was the one who shot him. And he didn't particularly mean to kill him, I don't think. I think he just meant to shoot him like in the leg or something, or kind of put him down. But he died. And when I found out about that as a young boy, that stuck with me for forever. It still lives inside of me. That I came from in my father grew up in Alabama. It didn't have running water or a bathroom inside of his house, or at least hot water. Lived in a shameful, kind of poverty-stricken, alcohol-ridden childhood. And when I heard about that, and my father, of course, still struggled with depression and alcoholism until I got clean, right? I tell this story quite a bit as well. My father got clean and sober 6 months after I got clean and sober back in 2008. But for many years, I lived with that sort of limiting belief and that generational trauma that I came from a family of drunken, violent people who kill each other, and that was shameful and embarrassing to me. It was something that it was also difficult for my father to talk about, of course. But that interview is actually up on the internet on YouTube. Like I said, I interviewed him back on Father's Day a couple of years ago because I just thought that it was a powerful thing to like interview your parents before they get too old, to where you can actually just have them tell their story and ask them questions and actually film it. And in case maybe your kids ever want to watch it or something one day. And, even as I talk about that, even though I've processed that extensively in therapy, I wouldn't share that, of course, by the way, friends, if I hadn't have extensively processed that in my own safe kind of therapeutic process. I've been in recovery for 15 years. And I've been in therapy, off and on for at least the last 10. And so I wouldn't just share something like that unless I had thoroughly processed it first. But I can tell you that still, even as I share that's in me. I mean, that's there. That lives within me, just the same way that you were describing your story of both being told that you couldn't afford things, but also this belief that you needed to be white, in the lotions, in the pills that I mean, man, that is that's so powerful. That's so deep rooted. And so as you were starting to do this business and you were starting to, how did you see that come up within in your head, in your actions, and how obviously when you went on video, talk to us about how some of those things still come up, and or have you overcome them, and how have you, or how are you? And my friends, we all have this. It may not be similar limiting beliefs that we're overcoming, but obviously I just shared one, which was sort of my big limiting belief, that I was kind of this product of a impoverished, drug and alcohol infested, violent family. That nobody, if they really knew who I was or where I came from, nobody would ever want to listen to me or do business with me. How are you, and how has this process, I guess, ever since you started going through the challenge and now building this business, how has this helped to build a new confidence within you and replace your old limiting soundtrack that plays in your head with a new one?
Well, I had this one troll about my accent, because I have a strong accent and I cannot pronounce some words, some letter that sound like funny for some people. And at first I was so conscious about that. Like I've made maybe I've recorded a video like 1,000 times before posting it, just because of that one word that I cannot pronounce the way a Western person would do. But now that I see that, no, I don't care. Now I don't care. So this is my accent. This is me. Take me as I am. Scroll if you don't like my accent. That's how I do now. Before, when I was starting, so funny because when I found Legendary, it was been a month. It's actually been a year since I bought the 15-day challenge, because I started after a month, and then I saw consistent commissions coming in, and then this troll came in telling me about my accent. And then at the same time, I had my TikTok account, which had 15,000 followers back then, got banned permanently, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not good at it. Maybe, maybe, and all these negative things. And then I said, I stopped for a month, for maybe not more than a month. I stopped, and then I saw I saw people who started at the same time are making great success, and I'm like, what did I do? What did I do to myself? I'm destroying my own success. I stopped because somebody commented about my accent. I stopped because my TikTok got banned, and so I started again. But this time I said, I'm stronger and I'm wiser. So I'm just consistently posting content, recording, just hitting record, say things that I normally say in whatever accent that I have, and then post it, and then that's it. Now
Hmm.
I'm gaining this confidence that I don't care. This is my accent. If you don't like it, just scroll back. Just scroll.
Yeah.
Go.
Do
And
you,
it helped me a lot, because of that mentality. I'm creating more content now. I'm consistent. I'm more consistent, and you can see that in my videos.
yeah.
Before.
I feel like that's a big thing, the accent thing. And of course, you know, I'm speaking from not having the experience of being, again, I love for this to be able to be told from your perspective, because this is one of the gifts. Some call it privilege. Call it what you want. I mean, I don't care. It just it is what it is. The American sort of English way of talking is pretty well and wide accepted all around the world, and it's not really considered an accent, right? Whereas, every other country who speaks differently than we do here in America is considered an accent, right? And so I haven't had that experience of really listening to myself and feeling like, well, I have an accent, or having that's that complex or that self-consciousness. And nobody's ever said that to me. And so I love that you're sharing this, because I do hear this a lot. I do hear this from people about their accents, and it takes one or two comments, and now all of a sudden somebody's got a complex about their. I can remember Camilla Markson was talking about this, and
That's
several other people have talked about this, and so, do you believe? And let me ask it this way: when was the like, how do you feel like you just set yourself free from worrying about what other people thought? And since you did that, do you feel like it let loose a new confidence within you that has made your content that has made people resonate with you much more because you care less about what people think? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Was
When I
there a moment, was there something where you were just like, screw this, I'm not, I mean, obviously you were hurt when the comment or the comments came through, but how did you like, when were you like, screw it, I'm not gonna worry about what people say? And have you even started to embrace it and see your accent in the way that you talk as unique and beautiful? It is, but it doesn't matter what I think. It only matters what you think. So do you remember a moment, or was there something? Yeah.
I do have a moment. I do have that moment when I was having my devotional and I read that I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God, and this God is God, King of all King, the Lord of Lords. So that is who I am. When I found who I am, that's where I got my confidence that it doesn't matter how people see me. What matters is how God sees me, and He sees me as His child, and that's
Mm,
the most important one. That is where my confidence comes from. That's
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 powerful. And think about it, friends. I mean, if you are a follower of Jesus, do you think that Jesus talked like me? I mean, came from Jerusalem, for Christmas sake.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, you know, he actually probably had quite brown skin, to be honest with you, because doesn't everybody over there look at him? You know, I don't know. I mean, but the truth is that because I wasn't there, I only see pictures that people have painted. But the truth is that um, yeah, all of this, like, you know, American or normal, or this person has an accent, person has an accent, is really just kind of manufactured, man. It's almost just been, you know, created, um, and sort of manufactured, mostly by white people, right? Or if not all by white people, right? And the truth is that some of the, if not damn near all of the most influential people and powerful leaders, particularly spiritual leaders, have all come from, you know, far off lands with people with dark skin and probably unique ways of speaking or accents. So I just love that you go back to your spirituality and to God to get this strength, and that you listen to your heart and you listen to God who speaks into your heart for you. And I think that's such a powerful spiritual message this morning, is that my belief is God talks to us through people, but God also talks to me right through my heart, and I have to get quiet enough to be able to listen to myself and tune out all the noise, so I can actually sit quietly to hear what my heart and God within my heart is really truly saying to me. That seems like it resonates with you. How have you, throughout this process, tuned out more of the noise, blocked off more of the voices and the opinions of both people that are on the internet, but also people maybe that you might know right within your family, so you can listen more closely to your heart, to God, and to what's being spoken directly into your heart?
I intentionally listen to them more. I mean, when I started this, I've been looking through my comments. I like the moment I open my eyes in the morning, I'm on my phone scrolling and looking at these comments and looking at the affiliates profile and their comments and all, and it makes me feel sad because I don't have their success. I don't have those comments on their posts, and all that I have in my posts are negative, and something that makes me sad about myself. Now I became intentional to hear what I want myself and my what God wants me to hear. I do I do devotionals. I talk to people who are spiritually matured. I speak more with my husband, and
Mm.
and I go back. I go back to the course. I listen to it whenever I'm idle. I'm on the car, or we're for traveling. I'm listening. I'm constantly listening on what I should be feeding my mind, because those people online who doesn't like my accent or who doesn't like my way of living is always there, and I can keep them there, and whatever that comes into my mind is my responsibility. Whatever they want to do online is their responsibility. But my responsibility is what I want to keep pushing into my mind. So I keep prayers, I keep devotionals, I keep talking to people who I value the most, who share the same integrity, who share the same belief, and who share the same goals that I want to go, like you
Mm.
and the other affiliates, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. And I love that. The more successful you get, the smaller your circle really needs to become, because otherwise you start taking on other people's opinions and risk taking on their limiting beliefs. And it also is exhausting. You're trying to explain your big dreams to people who don't understand them. And, you know, it doesn't particularly mean that they're small minded. They may be, but more than anything, think about this: you have a hard enough time overcoming your own limiting beliefs. Why go and try to overcome somebody else's limiting beliefs? I mean,
That's
I've realized this throughout my career as a marketer, is that I don't I have a hard enough time overcoming my own limiting beliefs in the things that I have had to overcome the last 13 or 14 years in order to be successful. Why in God's name do I want to go and try to overcome Aunt Betty and Uncle John and Bob and best friend Danny and all of their generational crap and all of the things that their mommy and daddy told them about money? It's just too exhausting. We find the similarities. Same thing with this is also how I operate with spirituality and in God. I'm not here to debate things about God and Jesus and this and that. I really don't want to hear people's opinions about it. I'm not here to debate things. I have spent the last 15 years developing my own belief and relationship with my higher power, and that's personal to me. That's personal. I'm not here to convince you what my relationship with God is. I'm not here to debate, topics about things that happened 2 or 3 or 5,000 years ago here on earth. I'm trying to get through today. And I have a special, private, personal relationship that when the time is right, I will talk about it. But I'm not out to try to convince or shove things down people's throats, because I've learned something unique in recovery, that attraction is better than promotion anyways. If people watch how I live, they'll be interested in how I do it, in what I believe. And I might, if I feel like it, share some details about that. But I'm damn not here to try to convince, twist any arms, because just like we talk about here in marketing, it is better to be the hunted rather than the hunter.
yeah,
If you become successful, those of you who are, passionate about your beliefs, or passionate about your hobbies, or passionate about the things that you have you want to make an impact in the world, well, go and become rich and successful and influential. And I guarantee you, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people will want to listen to what you have to say, instead of trying to, bicker and argue and convince and share people, or twist their arm or hunt them down, and try to, and that's, that really applies even to haters on the internet. The last that you will see me sticking forks in my eyes before you see me arguing with a hater online, because argue with one person. While I am influencing thousands over here by continuing to act and lead and live in an empowering way, and I have one person that comes along or 5 people that come along and want to hate, I will not stop my mission to argue or debate with a couple of people who are just looking for a fight, who are just looking to try to pick a bone with me. It's just not worth my time. And here's the other thing that I've realized about most people is this is a persuasion strategy that I learned a long time ago, is the more that you push back on somebody, it makes them want to push forward, and it makes them dig their heels in even further to what they believe. When you're sitting there trying to convince them of something different, the best thing is to pull away, and then they sort of fall forward, right? If you can imagine, right?
Yes.
On a door with somebody, and you're just trying to push your beliefs down their throat, and they're pushing back. What does it make them do when you're pushing back? Push even harder. So you have to just step away and let them sort of fall forward and realize, oh, this person's walking away. This person doesn't want to do this with me. And so all of a sudden they watch you walking away, they watch you not paying attention, and it takes all the wind out of their sail. It takes all the wind out of their sail. Then they go and they find they're looking for somebody else to sort of fight with. And so we learn how to protect our energy. And it sounds like that you're also learning how to do that as well, not only by not beating yourself up, not only by not continuing to let your limiting beliefs and generational limiting beliefs continue to dominate you, but also by choosing very carefully, Charmaine, who you talk to, who you share your ideas with, and also getting quiet with yourself. And I'll tell you, this is such a huge takeaway. 50 hat throws. This is such a big takeaway. You will find so many more answers. This is my belief. And it's validated this morning from hearing your story. You will find so many more answers to your questions if you sit quietly and tune out all the noise and invite God, the universe, your higher power. I just want to give space for everybody to be themselves here in our community. If you invite your God into your heart and say, talk to me. I heard this cool quote in recovery, or saying, which is, praying is asking God what you want and what you need help with. And meditating is listening for the answers. Listening for the answers. And a lot of times we do a whole lot of asking and talking, don't we? We're always, let's pray, let's do this, let's do that. We're always talking, but we're not listening to hear the answers. And look, meditating, it doesn't have to be taken, listening to a podcast, taking an ice bath, doing breathing exercises with Wim Hof, and then going, no. Meditating maybe could just be, instead of going on a walk this morning and calling somebody because I'm uncomfortable being by myself, maybe I say a couple of prayers, and then I go on my walk and I just listen. I just listen quietly and tune out. It doesn't always have to be sitting still, right? Sometimes we can do moving meditation. You gave a beautiful story about the breast pumping and sitting in that chair, and how that became sort of a place for you to contemplate and pray and meditate and all of that. And I love that. I just would like to invite everybody that's listening to find your own way to get quiet. And instead of asking everybody for their opinions and letting their opinions and limiting beliefs get projected onto us, to get quiet, find your way to meditate, to listen for those answers inside of your heart that are either already within you, or maybe God is going to plant that seed and you just need to get quiet enough to be able to hear it, right? Man, that really has been a major part of my success as well when I look back, because once again, the more successful we become, the more we have to decrease the size of our circle, not of the people that we want to reach, and not of the people that we want to touch, and not of the people that we want to serve, but of the people that we allow into our head and into our heart. This is the most precious place, and we have to be careful how to infect it or to empower it. And so tell us, as we sort of bring this powerful episode, this powerful show in for a landing here today, what have you learned about yourself through this process that you did not know about you? Maybe it was that you were stronger than you thought you were, that you were more, I don't know. I don't want to lead the question. I just wonder, what have you either been reminded, or what have you learned about Charmaine through this process that you did not know?
Well, it's the opposite side. I thought that I'm a strong. I have a strong personality. I thought that I was strong enough to do this, but then I throughout my journey, I've learned about myself being vulnerable, and that I'm not powerful enough alone by myself, except if I found myself in Jesus. So there's this point that I was breaking, like I'm breaking mentally and spiritually and even physically. And I saw that throughout my life and throughout this journey, that without breakage there is no breakthrough.
Mm,
I am breaking in, I am breaking through this financial situation. That's why I am breaking, and I am glad because I'm breaking, because I'm breaking through. There's no breakthrough if if you're not breaking through something. So
mm,
that's what I've learned about myself. I can feel broken, I can feel breaking if I want to break through. I don't have to pretend that I'm strong, that I'm this kind of person. I can be vulnerable, but vulnerable in front of people who I trust the most. With That's it. Because not all people will value myself being vulnerable in front of themselves.
mm,
So I have to really make sure that I share vulnerability and my breaking points to certain people, not few people only.
mm. I just want to share a couple little feedback with you, because you did share just something so vulnerable. You can be broken as you're having a breakthrough. Rachel says powerful. Elizabeth says authentic. Nancy says amen. Truly powerful and inspiring. Worth pure gold. Bless you richly, Charmaine. Yes, most often we learn the most things when we are breaking.
That's
Thank you for your journey, Charmaine. I like that. Man, right? Pure gold. Thank you so much for sharing. I can relate to you, dear. Holy smokes, 100%. Your perspective is so inspiring. You have taken your power back. Amen. Thanks for sharing your journey. This is my first time listening as I just joined. This is the exact message I needed to hear. I've been praying about the next steps in this area for months and finally took the steps. Then this. Thank you. Welcome, Courtney. Yes, Charmaine, breakthrough requires breaking old thought patterns and breaking old habits.
true.
Yes, vulnerable will make you stronger. Breaking down means she's breaking through. Wowza. says Tess. Hey, Tess. Mark says, this is such a humbling and amazing interview. Marie says, yes, it's okay not to be okay. We're not a robot. We're all human beings. Hugs to you, dear. Charmaine, you are so great, being an inspiration to all people. So honest, says Rick. Hi, Rick. Thank you, says Sandy. Liza says, this is such a great message. Dolly, wow. Bonnie says, so inspiring. Man, this is just, I just wanted you to take in some of that. Wow. Prosper with Connie says, wrote that down to hang on my wall. Incredible. I just want you to take some of that in, Charmaine, and yeah, you're such an inspiration. Keep on going. Can't have impact without a collision. Man, y'all are bringing out the one-liners on us now. You are a blessing, says Eva. Can't have a breakthrough without feeling like you're having a breakdown. Man. David says, God is channeling through you today. Thank you for your message. Natasha says, wow, wow, wow. This will be one of my most memorable and impactful Wake Up Legendary episodes. Jeremy says, can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs.
He's crushing
it. Mary says, you are powerful. You are powerful. That's right. Lori says, love, love. Thank you all for this wonderful feedback. Makes us, and I hope Charmaine feel seen and just heard, and just really we are inspired by you. So my best to you and your family. Congratulations on your daughter. You said it was?
Yes.
Congratulations. Yes. Congratulations. You deserve it. And your family is a blessing. You are a blessing to us for sure. And thanks for coming on this morning and sharing you came on the show when we were backstage just for 2 seconds. You were like, I'm starstruck. And I am starstruck right now. And I think we all are moved by your honesty and your vulnerability with us this morning. Thank you for being so real and so honest. This is truly a life-changing hour for those of us who have heard it. And many people are commenting that they're going to go back and watch the replay, and I don't blame you. So, Charmaine, my best to you. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. And please come back and see me and keep us posted on your journey, okay?
I will. Yeah. God bless. Praise God.
Thank you, Charmaine. See you.
See you.
All right, my dear friends. Man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Rachel says, saving this interview. Come on now. Come on now. Jessica says, you're amazing. Keep up the great work. Charmaine, the love just keeps on coming. Thank you so much. Amen. God bless you both. Love to you, girl. Amen. Hearts. Thank you both for today. Thank you for the best heartwarming interview. Oh, thank you. What a great way to start the day. I agree. Filipinos are naturally resilient. I'm proud of somebody like you who is inspiring everybody. I agree. I just love the people in this community. Thank you for showing us you. You can follow, well, we've had Charmaine's handle up, but we'll put it up again. You can find her over on Instagram at affiliate.mamarketer. Ma Marketer. Affiliate.mamarketer. Spelled exactly how it sounds over on Instagram at affiliate.mamarketer. Ma Marketer. Go and follow Charmaine. Connect with her. I mean, what a powerful human being to have in your support circle. What a powerful human being to have as your friend, as somebody to continue to watch and learn from, to know what she has been through, is going through, how she thinks. It's just what an absolute unbelievable blessing to have had her on this morning to share all of those beautiful stories. And I want all of you to realize you have such a powerful, beautiful story within you as well. You have to write that story, though. You are responsible to write and then tell that story, to see the things that you've overcome, to see the story that is unfolding in your life, and then to take the pen and continue to write that story. You are in control of that, right? You have the ability to be able to break those generational curses, those limiting beliefs, these things that we talk about every single morning here on Wake Up Legendary. We all have them. Every single person on Wake Up Legendary has them. And I try to share mine when the time is appropriate as well, like it was today, to share some of my limiting beliefs and the things that I've overcome and are still working through. We are all a work in progress. Not any one of us has arrived and is like completely, totally, I don't know, levitating around with absolutely no skeletons in the closet. I mean, we are all perfectly imperfect. But just as Charmaine said, we are all children of God. Come on, I mean, think about that. You are perfectly made, and there is only one of you. And so embrace that. And, learn to see the beauty and the power and the inspiration in what you have already overcame and survived through in your life, and use that mess as a message, both to yourself. You need to be the one who's inspired by your story, first of all, but then, to go out there and help and serve other people and empower other people, no matter what your product and service is. I mean, we're sitting here selling marketing training. Think about that. But we're using our story. Every single person who does something new has to work through limiting beliefs. Think about that. Think about if you were in the parenting niche and you just had a brand new baby. You don't think there's limiting beliefs that comes along with that? Of course there is. Have you ever had a baby? It's hard, right? What about dog training a brand new baby dog? You don't think limiting beliefs pop up? So these are all, everything that we do is an opportunity for us to step into the best version of ourselves, but also to use our struggles as our strengths, and to, get inspired, stay inspired, and inspire others through the telling of our story, the messages that we share out with the world, and just the growth that we have as a result of it. And Charmaine was an absolutely legendary example of that. With that being said, get out there, top of the hour, have a fantastic Wednesday. I believe it's Wednesday. Just another day here at Legendary. But I mean, I'm telling you, wow, what a Wednesday, right? They call it hump day, out in corporate world. I call it a blessed day here. I call it a legendary day here. It ain't no hump day, ain't no humping to it. It ain't nothing but pure legendary stories, honesty, vulnerability, inspiration for all of us to remember, to listen to learn from, and then to turn into action. Don't just let it kind of settle to the bottom. Use these shows as fuel to go out there and do your thing and claim what is rightfully yours, which is prosperity and freedom and the things that you want. Okay. You go out there and you get them. You deserve them. You're worth it. All right, my friends, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Same place, same time for another episode. Get out of here. Love you all. Peace.